Howdy, howdy, Stu Devil here, and welcome to our next episode in our Value of Chevrons series. This was actually spurred by a comment in one of my other videos where someone was asking, where did you find that when you add chevrons to a unit, that it also adds vigor as a hidden stat? And I replied him, I couldn't remember for the life of me if I'd read it somewhere, if I'd done it some testing. I'm getting a little bit long in the tooth. My mind doesn't work quite the way it used to do. And then I remembered what I was doing. This was a long time ago, and I was trying to test the effects of exhaustion on my units. And, to do this test, I would set up my unit against a unit that was weaker and put them as a defender so they wouldn't attack. And then I'd run my unit up and down a hill until they got exhausted and then engage in the battle. It was a very, very long test because it took forever to do. And then I took my same unit at 9 chevrons because I wanted to see if there was any other hidden effects. And I tried to run it up and down the hill, and I could not get them exhausted. It just took. I did it for, I don't know, like 30 minutes. I couldn't make them exhausted to get them into the battle. So then it became obvious to me that the vigor was a hidden stat that was buffed up when you added a chevron. So what I thought I would do is to try and demonstrate the rough, maybe not precise value, because there's math involved, and you have to figure out how much time the unit spends at active, fresh, tired, very tired, and exhausted, and what that translates into stat differentials, and then figure out a gold value against your chevrons. It's not, I could probably do it. It's just, I thought it'd be better just to demonstrate it so you can actually see the effect. Now, we know that Saurus Warriors and Longbeards are roughly equivalent. I mean, the Saurus Warriors will win kind of 7 out of 10 of these battles, maybe 8 out of 10, but what we're going to do is we're going to send them up against each other, figure out what time they meet, and how long it takes the two units to get exhausted. Then we're going to put some chevrons on them and do the same, and then time it out so we can get a rough time to see roughly how much longer it takes to get into an exhausted state. And then we can get a feel for the vigor differential that chevrons gives you. So we'll just get this battle going, and when they get into position and start to attack, we'll note the time. Okay, so approximately 59:31. Let's write that down, and we will let them fight. And we'll just look, they start fresh, and I'll just kind of go back and forth there. Now these guys are active, and when they get down to exhausted, these guys are winded first. Well, maybe they're winded at the same time. It's very, very close. We'll see if someone goes to very tired first. Tired, they're both tired at the same time. So it looks like even though they have a differential in amount of armor, very tired, there's not much of a difference. And I'm just going to hit play here, so I make sure that I get as close as possible to the precise moment when they turn into an exhausted state. Alright. Not a very exciting test, I realize, but it's just to demonstrate this effect. Alright, boys. Come on, one of you get exhausted. And we'll see if we see which one actually gets exhausted first. I mean, I don't know if there's a... Okay, so they're exhausted, very tired. So these guys got the Saurus Warriors got exhausted first, and the Longbeards. Let's see where they get exhausted. They should be getting exhausted very soon. All right. Huh. Oh, Saurus Warriors. I wonder why they get exhausted first. There we go. Okay, we'll say approximately 55, we'll call it 51, just for a little bit easier math. And we're talking about 4 minutes minus 20 seconds is approximately 3 minutes 40 seconds, if my adding is correct. Now we will just go and, or sorry, 3 minutes 40 seconds. That's what I got out of that. Alright, so quit the battle. We'll end it. And hopefully with all the chevrons, we'll pump them both up to 9 chevrons. They don't kill each other too fast. You never... This was just a test that I you know, just popped into my head. I don't know if it'll work, but because they may have the... They shouldn't have the ability to kill each other, because I think they get a little bit more melee defense still in that equation. So put them here, start the battle, get them going, and boom, 59, well 59-31, we'll call it approximately the same, 59-31. So if it takes longer for the Longbeards to get exhausted than 55-51, we can get a rough feel for that. So hopefully they don't kill each other too fast. That's the only, you know, their stats are still roughly equivalent, so they should be okay, I think. But they're going to spend a lot more time active and fresh, so they're going to do more damage to each other, I think. We'll see. So they're both winded at the same time, roughly. Alright. Just going back and forth. Now they're both tired. Alright. Both very tired. And we know these guys, so come on, keep fighting, guys. Don't stop. Okay, we'll just hit play. So we're now past 55-51. And these guys are still just very tired. These guys are very tired. So the Saurus Warriors still haven't hit exhausted, and we're past the point where the Longbeards were exhausted last time. We're at 55-29. Last time we ended the test at 55-51. And they're still just very tired and not exhausted. So hopefully they don't kill each other before they get exhausted. I'm just curious to see if they'll make it. This is actually not insignificant, because the Saurus Warriors were exhausted long before the Longbeards last time, and the Longbeards got exhausted at 55-51, and we're now into 54 minutes. Just about here, 54 minutes. So now they're still very tired for well over a minute longer. And it's exhausted where it reduces your melee defense by 65% and your armor by 65% and your charge bonus. So they still neither of them have got exhausted yet. Okay, here we go. Exhausted. Finally. Very tired. And we're at 54-32. They're exhausted. Okay. So approximately 54. We'll call it 54-31 for about 5 minutes. So adding those chevrons, we basically went from taking 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go from fresh to exhausted, and when they have 9 chevrons, it takes a full 5 minutes to go from fresh to exhausted, which is a differential of approximately, we'll call it 1 minute and 20 seconds, approximately divided by 10. It basically, it's adding about 12 seconds per chevron from fresh to exhausted. So you can see there that they're clearly, I mean, and they almost killed each other, but they didn't. Fortunately, it took well over a minute for the Longbeards to get into an exhausted state. Oddly enough, the Saurus Warriors got exhausted much faster than the Longbeard last time, and this time with 9 chevrons, it's almost the same. I don't know if that was just some kind of just random chance or something like that. There is a lot of randomness that can take place, but there you go. So when we talk about the value of chevrons, I always say that it adds leadership, melee attack, melee defense, and vigor. And there we go. The proof is in the pudding. When we have them up at 9 chevrons, the Longbeards take an extra minute and 20 seconds to get into an exhausted state. So they will be their combat effectiveness essentially goes up by a fair margin, actually, as you add chevrons. You know, 1 chevron maybe not that much, but as you increase your chevrons, it certainly does change their vigor stat, which is a hidden stat. I don't even know. I know you can find a lot of these stats inside the game, but I've just never done it. But anyways, a short video, just a quick demonstration of the fact that when you add chevrons to your unit, you also add a little bit of vigor, or maybe total vigor, or you slow down how fast they lose vigor. I'm not sure exactly the mechanism that's being affected inside the numbers, inside the code, but the net result is, as you add a chevron, your units will take longer to get into an exhausted state. So hope you found that interesting, and I will see you soon.